Oh my god, it's the 4 or 3 year anniversary of the Game Detectives.
It's time for a retrospective, a rosy retrospective, of course.
How does reflecting on it all make you... Oh, wait a minute.
No, Donkey Kong has some.
He has 5, though.
No, I thought he had 10.
I think I'm 2 bananas short.
Let's see. Well, we have to go over to the house.
Oh,
nope,
okay.
Okay.
We're good.
I
was gonna say, yeah, Lanky Kong has...
You know, so this year, I've been the one mostly... Because before, you mostly edited all the videos.
Yeah, I got a little too busy to do that for a
Yep.
while. And
so I've been editing more of the podcast and video stuff, which is actually really good skills for me to have right now, because a lot of what is recommended for teaching online right now is to do both like synchronous and asynchronous learning. So like they said, like you should do a video where you navigate this website and show everybody while narrating it. And so I'm much better now at like editing audio, editing sound effects if I want to make like a stupid
knowing
joke.
how to run Audacity should be like a Microsoft Word type thing, you know.
Yeah. And like I don't know everything about it obviously, but I know a bunch.
You do it enough times and you can kind of do it without even like you can just look at the sound waves and kind of get a good idea of what's going
exactly.
on. That's just like if you're a young modern teacher, you should know how to do that. You should really know how to do like I don't know what program you'd have for free. I guess maybe like Sony Vegas, but you should know a video editing software too. I think.
I use Lightworks.
Lightworks for video?
Yeah.
That's strange.
Isn't that what did you use?
I used Final Cut.
Oh.
Or I'm surprised you don't use. Isn't Lightworks Mac only, or is it Adobe Lightworks?
I had no idea. I just know that I used it.
I always edited on Mac, so when I was really young, I used iMovie, but Final Cut is, like, by far the most user-friendly one. You can use stuff like Avid, or... And I know a lot of people use Sony Vegas because it's free, but, like...
I thought you told me to use Lightworks.
No, never. I would never recommend that.
Well,
I would use, like...
But the thing is, I know the program now easy enough where it's like I don't need to really worry about.
You know what's really hard? Audio, like actual audio production.
Oh yeah, that's
me
that's
and
way
Cusack.
beyond my
Well, it's also like me and Cusack are working on this demo for our song, and it's like we've always, whenever I've done songwriting, I've always had Charlie to kind of help and figure stuff out, or even like Eli. And it's like neither me or Cusack really know how to keep time or like count stuff very well.
Oh boy.
So it's like. I listen back and I'm like, okay, we're gonna have a lot of work to do in the future, and it's just like it's easier for me to like make noises with my mouth and record it and send it to Charlie and be like, turn this into music, than it is for me to figure out this, because that's like a whole like learning how to do that software is so complicated. Or even like Eli. Well, with Eli, I could be like, these are the chords, and it goes burn, 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 and he would figure it out. Is that it? Wow.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
okay. That was Jingle Bells.
I think you'll really like the song me and Cusack.
I'm excited.
We added a ska section.
I love ska.
We're trying to decide if we want to do some trumpets in it, if it's overkill.
Ska also appeared in the Game Detectives Rebus.
Except it was just supposed to be. It was just supposed to be banned.
It's just banned.
So what gave you the idea to want to do a live stream or speed run even?
So I wanted to do something that's also a fundraiser, but I wanted to do something a little different. And I wanted to play a game that I was familiar with, but isn't this where like he tries to use it? I just wanted to do something a little different, but I also wanted to do another fundraiser because a big thing that I want to do, and I'm thinking more of, is like I want to work more, because now I'm not... Because I'm teaching and I'm going to school, but I don't have a second job, so I have a little more free time. So I want to do some more volunteer work or some more community work. And I was like, this is a great way to end the summer again, is to do another fundraiser. But I wanted it to be a little different from what we did before.
This is different, but I think this is a cooler thing to do because it's more of like, you have a definitive goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas the other time it was... And honestly, like, a big thing of the first time was just like I had never streamed anything before. Yeah. I just needed to like learn the ins and outs of how to use Streamlabs. So I was I was but a wheel hat back then. But now I feel way more confident, and I've been practicing. I think that's just something that the game detectives overall is just...
Is this where the bottle cap
is? It's up, like, back there.
Yeah, okay.
Something that the game detectives, it's just given me more skills in terms of how to, like, use programs. And I guess you could say, like, they're basic programs, but it's still good to have those.
It's something that a lot of people don't know how to do
Yeah.
and should. Like I said, like, if you say, like, I need you to record this, some people wouldn't know, like, oh, like, I need to export it, or it should be an MP3 WV.
Yeah.
Like, they just wouldn't know these things. And that's stuff that, like, now that you know naturally will definitely come in handy, I would think.
And, like, now I've learned, like, how to compress things a little, like, in better ways, or if I have to, like, save room because my computer doesn't have enough... You know, like, I figured out ways to work with RAM and memory and that kind of stuff in ways that I just had no idea how to do before. And so, like, obviously, like, posting stuff on YouTube and making things is great and, like, really meaningful, and hanging out with Travis and all my friends is great. But, like, all the skills, too, that I've, like, been able to finesse and also grow has been really great.
Are you happy about our subscriber count?
No, because I kind of wanted to be famous, and that didn't happen, so...
I'm glad we aren't. It's easier that way.
Me too, because then we don't have to worry about stupid algorithm or anything. We can kind of just do what we want. I kind of envision us in the future, if we ever become big celebrities. You know, like you produce a movie.
Yeah, I still want to do streaming or something. I still want to... We could do... It'd be really funny if you got, like, you got, like, an office and you're doing streams of Mario 64 still.
Well, see, I think that'd be fun. There was that thing where it was, like, AOC... Like, a guy was live streaming DK64.
He was 100%. Yeah, I think Grant Kirkhope popped in on it, too.
Which is, like, awesome. And that's... If I were ever to run for office, that's... I mean, that's something that people our age watch and listen to.
That's such a brutal undertaking. Like, that deserves... I think they raised, like, $100,000, and you deserve it to 100% this game. That's an undertaking.
Yeah. So it's just... I think that's a fun way to talk to people. I don't know if I can do this because, like, we get funding from the university, and I'm also a teacher, so I don't know if I can do this. But the group I'm with at Milwaukee, you can, like, do your own shows. I think it would be cool to do, like, a politics and play show or something where I, like, play a game and then talk about a political issue that week. I don't know if I can, though, because we technically get funding from the university. So I don't know if I can do that.
Why wouldn't you be able to talk about...
Because, like, when you're like using money from the university, it can't be for an explicitly political purpose.
Oh, really? That surprises me.
Or I think, like, a partisan purpose, at least I should say.
That also
like,
surprises me.
I could probably do, like, live streaming.
Is that only for state schools?
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm not sure.
Colleges are so partisan either way.
I would have to talk to my advisor about it.
I'm sure there's some rule or there's something you have to know, but that would also just be crazy to me because... Did we do this?
Yeah, this is just a jungle
No,
Gyms.
I know that, but did I get this golden banana here?
No. But that I could, because I kind of like I could do it where it's like I talk about something that's happening, current events, or I could like play a game and just talk about how like it shows government and how it works.
I think it would be impossible for you to do a political show that wasn't extremely opinionated or partisan.
Well, yeah. That's what I'm saying, is like, if that's what it would have to be, and if I can't do that, then maybe I would just do that on my own. But, we'll see.
What are other games you'd want to speedrun or stream?
Well, see, the thing with Banjo-Kazooie is that it's kind of I don't want to say the perfect game to stream as a live... to speedrun. Because for me, it's like, I know it well enough. I'm not an experienced speedrunner. I've never done a speedrun before. It's long enough where it'll actually take some time, but short enough where it won't take too long.
It's not super difficult, but it has parts that are going to be like a little bit tense.
Yeah. And so, like, it was kind of good in that way because it makes it easier for me as a first-time speedrunner to do something. I'm still going to be, like, 2 hours longer than the actual, like, best speedrun.
No, but you're doing it for fun. You're not
but I'm doing it for fun. Exactly. So it would have to be something like... I like platformers could be a fun...
Ones like that, or Mario 64, or even this, I think are interesting because there's so many different ways you can do it. Mm-hmm. There's obviously the one, tested way that's going to be the fastest. Yeah. But, you could play through these games and get completely different ones. Okay, this is just surprise. I was so upset when I was a kid, and he builds up this surprise for the whole game. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what kind of super move is Cranky going to give me? What's his big surprise? And it's this stupid game for old people with pixels. I think I can beat this. Oh, nope.
Is this based off a game?
This is, I think, Rare's first game.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it was the Commodore 64. Oh, I'm doing really bad. I gotta get used to the controls.
What were we talking about? What I got from the Game Detective's politics stuff?
Yeah.
Gosh, it's just if I were to ever run for office, which I'm strongly considering, at some point in my life.
You keep saying that. What office are you thinking about? Though?
Well, I've been looking into like local offices in Milwaukee. Like, there's a city board, and then there's also like for each town, or each area of Milwaukee. There's like people that run it. Obviously, the reason why I kind of want to do it is because I am very mad about what's happening in office right now, and I want to do something about it, which sounds really stupid, but I want to use the resources I have and everything to make the world a better place, which sounds really cliche, but it's something I would like to do that I feel like isn't being done. And there's a big trend now of in cities that are pretty solidly progressive or pretty solidly democratic, you have a bunch of younger people that are running and actually taking the democratic positions, and they're more progressive. They're democratic strongholds, but now they recognize that they need more progressive people. And so I'm not sure exactly how Milwaukee stacks up to something like AOC in New York, for example.
Yeah, pretty different, I would think. But to be fair, in terms of states, Wisconsin is a lot different than New York.
Oh yeah, totally. So I don't know exactly, but I also, in general, I just want to be... Because one of the things that I kind of notice about myself is that I feel much better, mentally, health-wise, if I am volunteering and working within the community. Because, when I went to Eau Claire for school, because Eau Claire is a smaller town, I was able to, be more involved with what's going on in the town itself. And I want to do that with Milwaukee, because I like the city and I want it to be
probably
better.
Just harder to be because it's just a bigger pond.
Exactly.
I have to get 5,000 points, but I don't know if we have a point counter right now, so I don't really know where I'm at. But from what I remember, making it to the second level is kind of... Let's see. I knew you... Okay, I gotta keep going. Jesus, Cranky, how much do I need?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, so... But, I also still definitely want to finish my degree, because, I don't want to end it now and, start running for something on a whim and not be fully prepared and ready for it.
But, what would it be?
What do you mean?
So you say local, is that,
city board.
Okay.
Or something like that. I wouldn't want to be, comptroller or treasurer-y, but I would like to be working with people who, make decisions about the city. And Milwaukee is such a segregated place, and I was actually surprised to see that the city board was actually mostly people who were either Black or Latinx presenting. So
stuff can be hard though, because Milwaukee is so different from the rest of Wisconsin. Yep. So much of legislation and stuff that happens is based off of Wisconsin and not Milwaukee. Ah!
Whee! Yeah, so
gotta get in my gamer position.
It's complicated, and I was thinking about maybe I could run for state representative at some point. But we also have a really great state representative.
Is that Tammy Baldwin?
No, her name's Gwen Moore.
Oh yeah, okay.
And she's really cool. So it's I obviously don't want to take. I don't want to be running for office when we already have somebody who's a black woman who's doing really well in that office. So
you probably got enough positions that are crap too.
Yeah, exactly. And so I need to do more research.
Scott Walker's existing kind of put us back like 30 years.
Yeah, it really
and then we had Joseph McCartney who put us back like 50. We're owed a lot of years.
But also, I think just in general, I want to, even if I don't get necessarily elected office, I do want to help Milwaukee become.
So you want to stay in Wisconsin
equitable.
for like the long term?
I want to stay in Wisconsin.
I'm
for a
so
while.
ready to get out of Wisconsin.
Well, see, the problem is that it's like it's very easy and very understandable to be like, I'm done with this city or I'm done with this state because everything's so messed up.
Well, not just that, but it's like the only place you've only lived in Wisconsin your entire life.
Yeah, that too. But it's also like I also care about it too. So, but it's hard too because then it's also I am getting a PhD, which means that if I took that degree and I got a teaching job, I would most definitely be leaving the state no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm in a transition phase right now, and I'm unsure exactly what exactly I want to do. But I do, no matter what I do, and I've kind of known this ever since I was a kid. It's like I want to work for the government at some point. So like when I get my PhD, I would want to work for a state school, not a private university or anything like that.
Yes.
But I also might want to work more in terms of like actual public sector, career. I don't know. It's crazy. Anyway, what did I get from the Game Detectives? I have nothing else to say about that, which is bad because Travis is playing this game right now.
Did I win?
No.
I must have been close. I knew you'd be hopeless. Do I have to get a certain point, or do I have to make it to
I think
a
you have to
certain level?
end. I think you have to end. You have to get to all the levels, I believe.
I think you might be right, too, because I think at some point the coin appears... Oh, that's not a good sign. I think at some point the coin appears in the game.
Yep.
And you have to grab it, or maybe just... I think what I remember my trick was, is I think you want to get to the second level where it's easier, and then you just want to collect... I don't think you have to make it to a certain level, because I remember beating it on the second one. I think you have to get a certain amount of points, and then it falls. I think the strategy is to just get to the second level, and then just collect stuff. Not worry about building the rocket.
Gotcha. I do think, though, for the Game Detectives, there has been actually some pretty good conversations we've had, and it's helped me a lot just in terms of, especially I would say the podcast, it's helped me a lot thinking about how I want to research games in my own actual, college stuff. Because I think it's... I have my own ideas, but then when I talk to you or Eli or Cusack, because we all play games and, hang out in different spheres of the internet, and we all talk about different things without each other. So, when we all get together and talk about games, it's pretty interesting to me to hear what everybody has to say. Because, oftentimes... I think you and I are usually a little more in agreement about things in terms of how a game is or the industry or stuff like that.
More so than the lay person.
Yes. But it's nice to hang out with Cusack and Eli and also get their take on what they think is important about games.
Podcasting is a pretty modern and it is kind of one of the main that kind of long form conversational is one of the main ways that games are talked about nowadays.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense to practice and kind of learn more about that process.
Well, and also that's kind of it's helped me realize some of my speaking habits that I need to change if I want to be a clear and effective communicator. If I am a teacher or if I'm a public office holder, I say a lot of ums, which of course we all do, and it's different podcasting. But it's still good to hear yourself and to understand what you sound like and understand your kind of mannerisms. And when I'm editing all of this stuff, it's hard to avoid talking about it. So
I think this is the move now, and I think you get point. I died there. I didn't get it, but I'm getting better. You also get you get points for shooting those things too, so that might be another strat.
But yeah, the podcast, last episode we talked about comedy. I think the podcast is definitely, it's the hip thing right now. But I think just in terms of, even with YouTube videos now and with people having more access to better internet service, I think in general, just like longer content is what people want right now. Even on YouTube.
It kind of worries me though, because I think there's a reliance on, it's because the YouTube and like the YouTube algorithm and like internet in general rewards long form unscripted content because it's the easiest to produce. And I wonder if like obviously we have an oversaturation of it, but it just seems like since so much of it is motivated to do that, I wonder if it's just, I don't know, it's kind of worrying for like what's the next thing.
Yeah, when's the bubble gonna burst?
Because there's not a lot of motivation to put, if you can get paid, if you're a content creator and you can get paid just as much to edit and write a complicated video versus just talk to your computer screen and eat. You ever watched the mukbangs?
Oh, I've seen them. Yep.
They make a lot of money.
More power to you, I guess. If you find a way to exploit the internet for profitable things and you're not a giant corporation, I say, but more power to you. It's hard because the idea of like quality content is so subjective in some ways. What I do like about the podcast format is that the more conversation-based things are, in some ways, I would say more informative, because I don't want to say you get a realer understanding of what people think, but when people speak off the cuff, it's a little more informative as to how they process or think about things, which in some ways is more beneficial than like actually written. I'm thinking about like, top 5 YouTube videos that,
that made you go, OMG.
Yeah. Versus like somebody just talking about a game. I kind of would rather hear somebody just talk about a game, I guess.
Well, that's something I've learned too, is because whether or not a game is good really isn't interesting anymore.
Yeah.
Or what's interesting is what is this person's experience and interest. Like, why is this important to somebody is much more important, or much more interesting than just saying something is important.
Yeah, and there are some like scripted things I do, because sometimes it's fun just to like,
what a script you can script out like why something's important in a real way. Yeah. It's just a matter of just like 8 out of 10 isn't enough anymore. Like,
yeah, and that's something I'm glad that the gaming community and industry is slowly moving away from right now. Are like the reviews and that kind of stuff. There's such a burden on video games in the 90s and the early 2000s, and then up to now too, of like trying to establish that games are legitimately something you can enjoy that aren't harmful for you, that it kind of
I don't even know if we've gotten closer or farther away from that.
I don't know either, but there was such a push towards it where it's like, we need an official review process, because then it can make it seem more like movies.
I think,
you know what I mean? I think that was a big part.
No. They had reviews because back then you had to look at the box and go, okay, well, I don't even know what this is.
Well, that too.
There was no information or communication of what a video game was. So a review, you're spending $60 to $80 back then. That's why reviews became such a big part of video game. But that's something we don't need anymore, because there's much more communication. You know what Sonic is now, what Pac-Man is.
Yeah. Dang, you're really sniffles.
Yeah, I got some bad allergies today. Dang. Now I'm starting to think this might be something we have to end up beating off camera. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, what time are we at?
We are at. Oh, I just got an email from Barack Obama. Our hearts are pounding. We are at 24.
Yeah, I think we might just beat Jetpack off camera. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'll give it one more shot.
We'll see. We'll see what's happening. But the reviews did a lot of things for games that I think isn't necessarily needed anymore.
Yeah, let's take a hot second here.
Bite.